Hello everyone, welcome to ITLS Academy. The topic for today's lecture is Methods for Growing Human Embryonic Stem Cells in Vitro. In vitro means we will see the growth of these human embryonic stem cells outside the human body or outside the body. In vitro means something that is happening outside the body. So let us start with our chapter. The first topic is methods for growing human embryonic stem cells in vitro. The very first point given here is to grow cultures of human embryonic stem cells. There was a scientist, that is Thomson, and his collaborators used 36 fresh or frozen embryos generated in vitro fertilization laboratories from couples undergoing treatment for infertility. To generate human embryonic cell cultures, cells from the inner cell mass of a human blastocyst. Cells from the inner cell mass of human blastocyst were cultured in a multi-step process. The second point given here is the pluripotent cells of the inner cell mass were separated from the surrounding trophoectoderm by immunosurgery. Immunosurgery is a technique for the separation of separating cells. That is, if we talk about the blastocyst, this is our blastocyst, and these cell known as inner cell mass. So the technique that are used for the separation of this cell mass from the blastocyst or from the trophoectoderm. This trophoectoderm is the outer covering. So the process of separation of these inner cell mass cells is known as immunosurgery. The antibody mediated dissolution of the trophoectoderm. In this technique, there is dissolution of this trophoectoderm layer. So after dissolution, only inner cell mass will be left, and that will be eluted for the experiments. After 9 to 15 days, when inner cell masses had divided and formed clumps of cells, 9 to 15 days after this inner cell mass, these cells were arranged on a manner. But now these cells, when separated, these formed a clump of cells, that is cells upon one another. So here cells from the periphery of the clumps were chemically or mechanically dissociated and replated in the same culture conditions. Colonies of apparently homogeneous cells were selectively removed, mechanically dissociated, and replated. After all these steps, these cells were expanded and passaged. Passage is a process of making cell line of particular cells. Thus, there is a formation of the cell line of these inner cell mass cells. Here in this diagram, you can see this is cleavage stage embryo. What is cleavage stage embryo? I hope you all are familiar with the process of fertilization. Fertilization is a process of mating a sperm and egg. After fusion, these forms a structure known as zygote. Initially, this zygote is a single-celled structure with these two nuclei, but further it goes into cleavage process. After cleavage, it forms two cells, and after two cells, it forms four cells, and this is known as early stage embryo or cleavage stage embryo. You can see here the four cells are present in this particular stage embryo. This embryo further develops into blastocyst. This blastocyst, outer layer of this blastocyst is known as trophoectoderm, while the inner mass of cells is known as inner cell mass. This blastocyst cultured in vitro, that is outside the body. This is cultured blastocyst. And after this process, after culture, this inner cell mass of cells, that is inner cell mass, is separated from this trophoectoderm. And how it is separated? A technique that is we have studied immunosurgery. By this technique, we separate our inner cell mass. This inner cell mass is separated by the dissolution of this layer. This layer dissolves and this inner cell mass remains, that is taken outside, that is isolated. Here you can see this is isolated inner cell mass. Further, this inner cell mass is cultured in petri dish. You can see here this inner cell mass starts differentiation. These cells dissociated and replated. Some cells that are dissociated from here, that cells are again cultured or replated. This inner cell mass is cultured in irradiated mouse fibroblast feeder cells. What is the culture medium? Culture medium is feeder cells, and feeder cells are separated from irradiated mouse fibroblast feeder cells. So again these dissociated cells are replated. These cells forms new feeder cells. And finally you can see here these are established embryonic stem cell culture. These embryonic stem cells establish themselves and form new colonies. So this is how we can culture the embryonic stem cells directly from this blastocyst by separating the inner cell mass by the process of, here you can see process, that is immunosurgery. Here in this diagram you can see this is fertilization. This is again here it is shown in detail that separated or isolated cell, how we can differentiate them into various kind of cells. So here is the process. First process is fertilization. After the fertilization there is development. After development it forms morula. This morula stage further develops into blastocyst. This blastocyst can develop inside the body or it can be taken outside the body for the further differentiation. So you can see here, firstly we talk about the differentiation inside the body. So this blastocyst undergoes differentiation and it forms hypoblast and epiblast. Trophoectoderm is still the outer covering of this blastocyst that is present here. If we take this blastocyst outside the body, that is in vitro for the culture. So here you can see these are cells, MEF cells. These cells differentiated, and after differentiation these cells form embryonic stem cells colony. This colony further differentiates in EBS suspension. This is a media in which embryonic stem cells can be cultured. So you can see here, after the differentiation, these cells develops in various kinds of cells. These cells, differentiated cells, can be neurons, can be hematopoietic cells, can be cardiomyocytes, can be smooth muscles, and can be skeletal muscle cells. So you can see here how we can use a fertilized embryo for the formation of various kind of, or we can say numerous kind of cells. These differentiated cells, neurons, will give rise to our brain system or our nervous system. Hematopoietic system, hematopoietic cells will give rise to our blood system. Cardiomyocytes will give rise to our heart or our circulatory system. Smooth muscle cells are responsible for the formation of various kind of cells and tissues and organs in our body, and as well as skeletal muscle cells also play a very important role in formation of muscles and many kind of other tissues and cells. So coming to our next point, that is telomerase. Telomerase is an enzyme. As the name indicates, telo. This telo word is used for the tail or terminal point, while this is present in case of enzymes. So, this is the enzyme that will be responsible for the formation of tail. So, tail for which organelle? Let us see. The very first point, all the embryonic stem cell lines express high levels of telomerases. If we talk about the telomerases, these cells are these telomerases are responsible for the longevity of cells. These cells help in increase of life. These can extend the cell life. So all the embryonic stem cell lines express high level of telomerase. Further, after many generations, this telomerase shortens, and after shortening of this telomerase, cell ultimately goes to death. So the telomerase is the enzyme that helps maintain telomeres. Telomeres are actual terminals which protects the ends of chromosome. These are present for the end of chromosome. If we talk about the structure of chromosome, it looks something like this. So these are the end of chromosomes, and on this end this covering is present that is known as telomerase. If we talk about the initial stage, this telomerase is very long, but as the time goes on, this telomerase continue to shorten, and ultimately when this telomerase comes to an end, it causes death of cell. So the telomerase activity and long telomerases are characteristic of proliferating cells in embryonic tissues and of germ cells. So, if there are any kind of cells that do not have telomerases, answer me, all of you, in comments. So, human somatic cells, however, do not show telomerase activity. And if we talk about the telomers of human somatic cells, so their telomerases are considerably very short. Considerably shorter telomers are present in human somatic cells. Coming to the next point, three of the human embryonic stem cell lines generated by Thomson were XY, and we know that XY is denotation for male, and two were double X. This double X is denotation for female. All maintained a normal karyotype. Like monkeys' embryonic stem cells, human embryonic stem cells express a panel of surface markers. I hope you all know what is surface marker. Surface marker is a kind of marker that is used for the identification or for the recognition of particular kind of cell. So these surface markers include the stage-specific embryonic antigens, that is SSEA3 and SSEA4, as well as these cells contain surface markers like TRE160, TRE181, and alkaline phosphatases. Phosphatases are a group of enzymes that are responsible for the removal of phosphate groups. So for the removal of phosphate groups from the 5' end of the DNA, if we talk about the DNA, I hope you all know what is the structure of DNA. This is 5' end and this is 3' end. So if there is a phosphate group, although a phosphate group is always present on this 5' end, so for the removal of this phosphate from this 5' end of the DNA, we use phosphatases, or we call it as alkaline phosphatases. Human embryonic stem cells also express the transcription factor OCT4. OCT4 is a signaling molecule that is present on human embryonic stem cells, and this marker is as mouse embryonic cells too. Here in this diagram you can see the activity of telomeres and telomerase enzyme is shown in very efficient manner. These are telomeres. Telomeres are a kind of sequence that are present on the end of chromosome. This is a single R of the chromosome and these are telomeres. You can see here these are sequences present. These sequences, telomeres are nothing but a single nucleotide sequences. Simply, these are nucleotide sequences. So, if we talk about the difference, you can see here these are embryonic stem cells and these are adult stem cells. So the telomere of this embryonic stem cell is a very long on both ends. You can see here this telomere is very long. But if we talk about the adult stem cell, so what about the adult stem cell? Difference is very clear that short telomere. Short telomere is present in the case of any adult cell. So this chromosome strand is of embryonic stem cell. This is telomere. This is our chromosome. This is long telomere. This telomerase is active here. This telomere works like chopping machine. It chops this telomere continuously, and ultimately it comes to an end. On the other hand, in adult stem cell, you can say telomeres are very short, telomerase inactive or absent. Because these telomeres are present almost on the end. That's why telomerase have very low activity, or we can say that telomerase activity is absent. So what is telomere? Telomere is a repeating DNA sequence. You can see here these are nucleotides present on this telomere. So what about if we want to extend the life of telomere? So here is the process that is extending the length of a telomere. You can see here this is before scenario and this is after scenario. Before scenario telomere is very short, while the after this telomere becomes long. But how? What is the process behind it? From here to here, what are the steps involved? Let us see. This is chromosome and this is end DNA, that is short telomere. Here this telomerase enzyme. This extends, this takes an RNA template. What is the work of template? Template provide a site for the synthesis of DNA. So taking this RNA as template, this telomerase enzyme synthesizes a long template along the strand of DNA. This process continues. Here you can see this RNA goes on shifting, and after many shiftings you can see these are new DNA bases continuously coming, and these are joining this end. Finally DNA polymerase comes and synthesizes all these strands. As a result, you can see here the length of telomere is very long. This length is extended. So few points regarding telomeres and telomerase is given here. Let us see. A telomere is a repeating sequence of double-stranded DNA located at the end of chromosome, as we have seen in diagram. Greater telomere length is associated with immortalized cell lines. Immortalized means they have a long life. If the telomere is long, so life will be long, such as embryonic stem cells and cancer cells. Cancer cells also have a very long telomere. As cells divide and differentiate throughout the lifespan of an organism or cell line, the telomeres become progressively shortened and lose the ability to maintain their length. As cell grows, the length of telomeres shortens continuously. Telomerase is an enzyme that lengthens telomeres by adding or repeating sequences of DNA. Telomerase binds to the ends of the telomere via an RNA template, and this RNA template is used for the attachment of a new strand of DNA. Telomerase adds several repeated DNA sequences, then releases, and a second enzyme, that is DNA polymerase, attaches opposite to a complementary strand of DNA, completing the double-stranded extension of the chromosome ends. High levels of telomerase enzyme activity are detected in embryonic stem cells and cancer cells, whereas little or no telomerase activity is present in mature mouse. In most mature differentiated cell types, the functions of telomeres and telomerase appear to be important in cell division, normal development, and aging. Under in vitro conditions, the embryonic stem cells tend to clump and differentiate spontaneously as they are passaged. In vivo, after injection into the testes of immunocompromised mice, the embryonic stem cells differentiate into bone, cartilage, squamous and cuboidal epithelium, neural cells, glandular epithelium, and striated muscles. Recent reports have identified additional human embryonic stem cell lines that have been developed. New derivations have been conducted from the blastocyst of frozen embryos at two centers in India. These are National Center for Biological Sciences, University of Agricultural Sciences. They used derivation techniques that differ from those of the Thomson Laboratory, including the use of laser ablation for the removal of the inner cell mass. By several criteria, all of the human embryonic stem cell lines generated today are pluripotent. And what is pluripotent? Pluripotent is a kind of cell that is able to give rise to various kind of cell lines. In vitro differentiation of these human embryonic stem cell lines is extensive, and the cells can generate many cell types that are derived from all three primary germ layers. However, the extent to which these human embryonic stem cell lines will differentiate in vitro does not match their more extensive differentiation capability in vivo. In vivo, that is, inside the body. So thank you guys for watching this session. Follow ITLS Academy on various social media platforms and also subscribe to our YouTube channel, that is ITLS Academy. So thank you very much everyone. For any help you can call on our helpline number 7080 or you can visit our website www.itlsacademy.com. Thank you very much.